Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
and we're live on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to do some podcasting. The official weapon of the show is
The taser.
an unofficial sport
Bullet ball.
and bullet ball extreme. Uh, and it's been a second since we been on the air.
Mm-hmm.
But ain't nothing changed. You know how we do.
Again? Look, here we go again. We got variants. Really need to keep a mask on hand and follow the plan. Get the vaccine and second shots, whether woman or man. Black out who tips is doing their part, but the dummies expand. Niggas would rather believe a bunch of misinformation. Fuck y'all idiots not getting shots. Now we gotta regress. If we keep going in this direction, we never can rest. Never can get back to the lives we be living the best. Damn fool, stop the lying. Stop the intubation crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. Damn fool, stop the lying. Stop the ventilator crying, cause it's your fault that motherfuckers dying. I do not understand this shit. I'm not a fan of this. We were like one win from the pandemic championship, but fuckers wanna leave it to game 7 with Giannis Delta Kupo blocking forward progression and Chris middle fingers to your plans. Man, damn. Looks like it's no true holiday for you and your man. I'm sick of black people dying for real, so I'm just writing this new piece to let you know how I feel. Coronavirus, yeah. Fuck that COVID-19 is unseen, it's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah. So fuck that COVID-19 is unseen, it's creeping in the air for you to breathe, yeah.
All right, coronavirus news. And coronavirus news, we got it. Yep, we had it last week, which is why we didn't do any shows this weekend and stuff. We probably would have done one at least Sunday because we had a guest, Mike Brown, who will be coming in next Sunday. And yeah, we got COVID and we didn't get that sick. It felt kind of like, I guess the best way to describe it for me is like, y'all remember some of y'all will remember, obviously, when you got vaccinated and then you felt like you need to go lay down for like an afternoon or some shit. And then you woke up and you were like, oh, okay. All right. That was what a taste of the COVID feel like. It felt like that for me, except for like probably like 2 or 3 days. Like I just was like, let me lay my ass down and take a nap. And then you take one of those like old people naps where you wake up and you be like, oh, it's tomorrow. And it was mostly just being tired. I wasn't like in any really like excruciating pain or anything. I was congested a little bit. Like I had a cough. I still have a little cough. And I found out that I had it because I was feeling tired. And I was like, I at least have a cold. We had gone out to the Comedy Zone with my parents for the earthquake show, and we were about to do the pregame, and I was live on the air, and I said, "Oh, you know what? We got a whole bunch of extra COVID tests in here.
We got all of them. The government was giving away for free. I got them all.
So I took one before the show started. We started the show. I set my clock for 10 minutes, however long it takes to look. And yeah, it was a big bright red line on there. I was like, oh shit, I got COVID. And it was live on the air with Karen and Justin. So if you listen to the pregame, you can hear me finding out I had COVID. And then we did the shows and stuff. I didn't feel too terrible, just more tired than anything. And yeah, that was basically it for me as far as just laying down and drinking hot teas and taking cold medicine and cough syrup and what do you call it? Like those cough drops. I figure at this point, almost everyone listening has had it. So I'm just glad we didn't have a rough time. Glad we stayed vaccinated and boosted up.
Yeah, we got all of the shots, and for some reason, all the tests was like, girl, you just got a cold. So, and
Karen never tested positive on the test. Now I looked at her taking the test once,
and he thought I was fucking up, but it still came back negative when he did it.
Near the end of her symptoms, I noticed that she had been taking the test wrong, and I haven't tested positive for the last like 2 days. I've taken test just to see if because I wasn't gonna go out if it was gonna say that I tested, positive for COVID. I was just gonna keep staying in the house. And my parents got tested and stuff, and they came back positive, but everyone's doing okay. Everyone's boosted, vaccinated and stuff. So they're just basically, you just wait till you're not testing positive, you can go out, or
Right.
But and no one seems to be suffering from any long COVID stuff, thank God. But what I was gonna say is Karen was taking the test wrong, so I helped her take the test the right way, but it was near the end of her symptoms. So I don't know if she was. I assume she had COVID because she was sick. She was sicker than me. Like, honestly, the reason we didn't do a show the last few days is because Karen was the one that was so sick. Her voice was really raspy. She was coughing a lot.
I was very tired.
Yeah, and so I guess you just had a cold, according to you. But to me, it didn't make sense. Like, and I think that happens sometimes. People just can't. They don't test positive for it, but they have it.
Right. Because you can also be asymptomatic, and it's one of those.
Well, you weren't asymptomatic. Asymptomatic means you aren't showing symptoms.
Oh, okay, but then I was showing symptoms. Yeah. No,
so you weren't asymptomatic. You just weren't testing positive according to the way you were taking the test. But Karen was just swirling up in there and just touching it, just the tip, and being like, "All right, well, I guess I don't got it." I'm like, all right, then.
And then he looking at me going, "And you mad because the test?" I'm like, "Well, shit, I'm taking the test." But I remember when I had first went back to my doctor after about a year, because I was like, fuck that, I'm not going to see no physicians. She was telling me that everybody would eventually catch it. She was saying just because of how it spreads and things like that. She was saying as time goes on, it won't be as bad. And the numbers and stuff do go down, but people need to know that it's still out there and it's a real thing.
Yeah, I think the difference is one, it doesn't seem to be as strong as it used to be. People used to get it in like really, not that no one's dying, because people are, but it used to be more. Hospitals used to be, over capacity essentially, with people being sick. And mathematically, less people are taking precautions,
right?
But less people are going to the hospital for like severe illness. So I guess that's a good thing, because no country is completely bereft of COVID. No country is beating this, mask or not mask. You see China give up, like. So I don't think we're gonna see that, but yeah, it's been it's been a thing, and it's here to stay. And I think it's just a matter of time. And as I've said before, you basically you do it, and you go out and you do stuff. And to me, you just have to make an equation in your mind. What do you think is worth getting COVID for? I don't leave the house and think to myself, it's impossible, I'm not getting COVID. I don't think that. I just think, well, if I'm going to get COVID, I guess it'll be at this Xbox Direct movie event. I guess that's, to me, a thing that's worth being sick for. And honestly, the main thing it made me think about, because it felt kind of like the flu, which I believe everyone who's listening has probably had before. And it made me think, man, we really just was out here. We was just out here living, knowing anytime we could get the flu. Even if you vaccinated, boosted, like me and Karen always get our flu shots, but for the most part, we were just doing shit together as a world, colliding into each other, molecules and particles and everything, and that's what it reminded me of. So
yeah, and it's also one of those things where I haven't been sick in like years, literally years. It's like I said, I've been trying, to do my best, been wearing my mask and stuff like that. So this is like, for me, I think it really took me down, because like I said, I haven't had a cold, sneeze, caught nothing in like a few
years.
Me
neither. And I think that definitely has something to do with it, but I don't know, like it definitely has something to do with it, but it's like, it is COVID, and you are going to get it eventually, and we made it a long time, longer than most people, I'm sure. Everyone keeps whenever I was telling people, they were like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I got it. Like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And stuff. I was like, yeah, it's my first time. Your first time, damn. Like it was more like a, you lucky ass nigga, this it, whatever. And I'm like, well, I took a lot of precautions and stuff,
Right.
and we got fortunate in a bunch of situations. So, it is what it is.
Right. And it's one of those things where, we were more, because it's all about your personal journey, and because of that, more people are take more risk than others. Some people are more conservative than others, and we were more on the conservative side. It wasn't until recently that we even started quote unquote doing things, because for a while we was like, no, fuck that, and we literally shut shit down. And the thing is, I'm the vaccination did what it was supposed to do, and we are literally current. We are like current. And so it's one of those things to where a lot of people out here, they got one shot, didn't get the other one, ain't been boosted, ain't got their shot in years. You're not quote unquote current. You ain't got the upgrade. So for people like that, when it goes around, a lot of times those people, we've read articles, have a tendency to get sicker than somebody who is fully vaccinated.
Yeah, there's no like 100% rocket science to it, but being vaccinated seems to still be our number one defense. And yeah, I think that has something to do with how easy it was for us. I think, and then I was just the one who thought, yeah, we should probably get tested, because I'm like, we've been doing stuff. So my mom was like, she worked the whole week and was like, yeah, I thought I had a light cold, but yeah, I tested positive. And shout out to these vaccines. She was like, I didn't feel too bad. Like it wasn't some like I can't work through this.
Right.
And especially, being an older person, a lot of times the older people are the ones who are the most at risk right now, especially if, you're not vaccinated and stuff.
Right.
So shout out to the vaccines. I'm glad we're doing all right. And I'm glad that, everything is, and I really think just a lot of people are still getting it. And because, the world is opening up and being less cautious, and it's just getting the likelihood is lower and lower. And then just it depends on the kind of activities you're deciding to participate in. Comedy show, sitting at the front of the stage is pretty much impossible not to have all those molecules going your way. So it was what it was,
Yeah, and then also, one of the things where, I thought about it and I kind of felt bad. I was like, oh, I'm the reason why everybody got sick, but also that's something that you can't control either. And so, for a while I kind of felt bad. I was like, well, damn, I got everybody sick. But at the same time, it's almost impossible to walk around and just period, and you don't even have to be out doing things, just family and friends, just interacting with people in general now, because less and less and less people aren't wearing masks. You do see people wear masks, but the percentage is getting lower and lower.
It just, like I said, it just depends on what risk people are taking. And we've been told that it's pretty much everyone's going to get it at some point. So
Right.
I don't know. It's nothing to feel bad about. It's not, one of the reasons I actually went was because I was like, if y'all go and get sick, I'm going to get sick. And
True.
Then if I don't go, I'm going to get sick. And I would have not got to see earthquakes. So I might as well go,
Yeah. And
I had a good time, and everybody's alive. Everybody's okay. It's really not some shit to dwell on.
That's true too. That's true too. And I am, like I said, the vaccine is doing its job, and I'm glad it's doing its job. And the next time they say go get another shot, my black ass is gonna be in line to get another one.
Yep. All right. Let's get into these other coronavirus articles. An unsubstantiated claim that Jamie Foxx was hospitalized after COVID vaccination is going viral on social media. Yeah, and I think his.
What is up around here? And they keep breaking all these crazy stories around here.
Well, this is weeks old, but yeah, I think they had to have a representative come out and say it's not true.
Right.
But people do this anytime someone gets sick, especially a black celebrity, even if it's like a stroke or a heart attack. The anti-vax people want to blame.
I see what you're saying.
Blame it on people getting vaccinated. Vaccinated people, I think, have for the most part stopped blaming it on people not being vaccinated, because I think vaccinated people, for the most part, are a lot more secure about it. They're like, I got vaccinated. The other thing out here is, we're being honest, a lot of people that are quote unquote considered vaccinated haven't gotten their boosters.
Right.
So they're not really up to date either. I just think it's like everything in our society, shit has turned into like a weird culture war,
Right.
which sucks because, you know, culture wars are less about facts, they're about feelings, about whose side can win and who's fighting each other and shit like that, and that sucks, you know. And I feel like that's what happened here. Is anytime a celebrity gets sick, there's a culture war around vaccines, and oh, so you got he got it because he got vaccinated, and I just have gotten these people out of my life. I don't see these arguments. There's a few things in my life I don't see anymore. It doesn't mean they don't exist. They just don't happen in my purview. And one of them is I don't traffic in fools who talk about, you know, the vaccine killed Bill Russell and shit. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't do it, Karen. I said that.
I don't blame you. I don't want you in my timeline. I don't want to see you on Facebook because it's stupid and you're stupid.
Yeah. So I just haven't, like, if I see someone trafficking that, I honest to God, to this day, just get them out of my space. I don't mind unfriending you. I don't mind not talking to you. I don't see any value in that shit. And I know a lot of y'all don't operate that way, and that's your perspective. But it's also why y'all probably have y'all have a better handle on how this conversation is going out in the world than I do.
Right.
Because for me, I don't need to be that up to the date on like which Hotep conspiracy is taking over. I'm like, okay, so y'all said, let me just make sure nobody on my page said that shit. All right, cool. And I guess that either the algorithm stopped showing it to me, or motherfuckers stopped saying it around me, or I just got rid of everybody that talks like that. Because to me, if you say that kind of shit, something's wrong with you, and I don't trust you.
Right. And it's also one of the things where, you know, out the side, you have got to get to the point where you have to do what's best for your sanity. And, you know, it's enough things to be worried about in the world than to be worried about somebody spitting.
And honestly, it's not even about my sanity. It's just, they never affected my like mental health to where I'm like, man, maybe I'm wrong. Like, it's like if I saw somebody on social media saying gravity doesn't exist, I don't need that fool in my life. It's not a anger thing. It's not I want to debate you thing. It's just like, you know, somebody said, you know what? Actually, the sun revolves around the earth. Okay, this fool needs to get off my page. What would ever be a point where I would respect anything that came out of their mouth?
Right.
BioNTech faces first German lawsuit over alleged COVID vaccine side effects. They'll go to court on Monday to defend itself against a lawsuit from a German woman who's seeking damages from alleged side effects, the first of potentially hundreds of cases in the country. The question I wonder is, are there side effects people the same as the side effects people in America? And y'all know what I'm talking about. If y'all ever see them videos of the women, it's first of all, it's always a woman. Secondly, always a white woman. Thirdly, they symptoms always be like looking like they popping and locking. And it's like they put up the videos like, oh, I got the shit. It's the vaccines. And just coincidentally, fourth of all, always happen to be an anti-vaccine Republican. I don't know. I mean, look, hey, maybe it only affects anti-vax Republicans. Maybe those are the only people that get the shaky side effects.
Out of the millions and billions of people that done took these vaccines.
Maybe they the only ones that got the stanky leg, you know, version of the vaccine. Maybe they took the Johnson & Johnson. I don't know. But I wonder if that's happening in other countries, because I assume that's an American problem with I got the stanky leg side effects, and I'm, you know, and I'm just vibrating and shaking over here. And I just happen to vote for Trump. You know, like, I just wonder if that's what's gonna happen over there, because I don't follow that, and it never occurred to me that maybe other countries have divisions like that too.
Yeah, I can see that.
She says she has upper body pain, swollen extremities, fatigue, and sleeping disorder due to the vaccine. The first hearing is Monday. So yeah.
Because not trying to be funny. My thing is this. I feel like this would have been a class action lawsuit. You wouldn't have been the only person with these symptoms. It's too many people have taken these shots across the world for you to be the only one.
So first of all, as they just said, she's the first of many.
Okay.
This would open up the floodgates to many other child.
Okay, I'm with you.
The issue she's gonna have is she's gonna need to go into court and prove that it's medically related to this vaccination scientifically,
I understand.
And that that the products cause disproportionate harm relative to the benefits, or if the information on the label is wrong, and that's gonna be her challenge in court,
right,
to prove. And yeah, it's a small percentage, but it's possible, that there's a small percentage of people that got these side effects. I just wonder if it's gonna be the version that we have in America. If not,
right.
Like, what's her political affiliation? What's her stance on vaccines?
Correct.
Shit like that. Like, if that's gonna be, because I think, at least in America, the prominent detractors to the I got these side effects, it'd be coincidentally staunch MAGA Republicans who post videos of themselves pop locking and fucking breakdancing and be like, look, Joe Biden, look what you did to me.
And if you know what, over the past few years, them shits have slowed down and we don't see them at all anymore.
The videos?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I don't follow them, but yeah, I mean, it's such a silo that it could not have slowed down.
Right,
because,
and now we just don't see them.
Yeah, because that silo of people that pass that shit around and grift off of it, they would never ask me for money because I'm a clown. But well, in MAGA world, on the Reddits or 4chan or some shit, they might be passing the videos around like, we need to raise this money.
And that's true.
Lastly, YouTube removes a video of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Jordan Peterson for vaccine misinformation. Kennedy Jr. is trying to run for president. He's endorsed by Jack Dorsey, the dude who used to run Twitter, the guy who thought Elon Musk would be good for Twitter.
Right.
So I take his opinion with a gigantic grain of salt. But yeah, he spreads vaccine misinformation. The fact that people want him to debate Joe Biden, Joe Rogan wants him to debate like a prominent medical doctor and stuff. This is clearly going to be the libertarian white man candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And he can't keep a video on YouTube because he's spreading vaccine misinformation. Why the fuck would this nigga need to be in charge of the goddamn country, you fucking idiots?
Right.
He can't even keep a video on YouTube. And y'all want this nigga to be able to get on the state podium and give a speech to America? Goddamn, whiteness is a mental illness sometimes, man.
It don't make sense.
It don't make fucking sense.
It's irrational.
What is it about this man that's exceptional other than he's white?
Right.
I seen this nigga doing these alligator arm push-ups and shit and looking like
is that dude?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, like this nigga is not a serious. This is a very unserious moment. I don't want to see this. Like, I honest to God believe this. This is not a joke. I believe Joe Biden could do better push-ups than him right now. And we know Joe Biden be falling down and shit on the thing. I think Joe Biden can do better push-ups than this man's push-ups. What kind of idiocracy shit is this?
That's how it make you feel, don't it?
Our billionaires are trying to fight each other. What the fuck is happening right now? Elon Musk versus motherfucking Mark Zuckerberg. Dude, what's wrong with the script right? Is AI writing the script to the world right now? This shit is not real.
We're in Earth 312.
Yeah, this shit is this is disgusting, man. I can't believe I'm disgusted to be alive during this time, man. What the fuck? They not even talking about duels and pistols at dawn or whatever the fuck. These niggas are talking about push-up contests and jujitsu and this is fucking stupid. Anyway, we're back. All right. Other stuff that happened throughout the week. um the BET Awards.
Mm-hmm.
We watched those the other night.
We did.
Most of it anyway. I didn't catch it all.
We didn't catch it all.
I tuned in. The first thing I did was I saw a dude that looked like Jesus doing Afro beats, and it was good. I think we now have. I missed the gospel segment. I think they just realized you gotta get the gospel segment out of the way.
Yeah, just do that first.
Because it was like the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Right.
So you just need to get the gospel shit out of the way because it wasn't gonna be like them other the other years where you do all the sinning, and then you do the gospel, and then you do like one last sinning segment, and then you get out of there. They just need to. So I missed whatever they did for Jesus.
Yeah, they was like, dog, we doing hip hop, so y'all need to go ahead and praise Jesus up front.
And I enjoyed it, but I've always enjoyed the BET Awards. We've broken them down in the past. I've actually taken copious notes and went segment by segment and stuff. I'm not doing that this time. But I did enjoy it. There was a lot of people I got introduced to.
Same.
Because I haven't really I listen to more current music than most of y'all.
Right.
But I don't I don't know it all.
Everything. Huh? Yeah, it's hard to keep up with everything because there's so much music out now.
Yeah, and there's like a in between where like you don't want to like be the nigga that's trying to be so cool that you like perpetrating and you're like, what's going on, fellow kids? So it's like a certain level of respect you gotta have for yourself as a man of a certain age where it's like I like this new shit. Some of it's good, some of it's not. I'm not trying to act like all of it's good. There's a lot of shit that is starting to sound alike to me, but the biggest thing I like about hip hop, as I've been saying on the show for a long time, I just love this new era of women we have.
Yes, I love it too, and it's very refreshing because it don't feel catty. It's a dog. Let's get this money. I'm on your shit. You on my shit. Let's go.
Yeah, I enjoy this new era of women we have, just partially because they work together so much, but also they're very talented, and they're and like is some of them sound the same, but like that's been an issue with the dudes for forever, my whole life. Like I always find that complaint to be a little weird because it's like, yeah, well, all the gangster rappers sound like the same, all the drug rappers sound the same. Right now, all the like auto-tune, I do perks rappers sound the same. So I don't know why the women are supposed to be the only people that's diversified in the game and shit, but they're more diverse than the men, I think, at this moment, at least the popular men. And some of it is stand culture shit. There's a lot of people that really like being like that, like some that I don't get into the stand culture shit. So like I'm team this woman because everything she does, I'm a retweet and share, and fuck this other bitch because she not her.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I know that's a lot of the way the younger crowd consumes hip hop right now, and they consume all pop culture like that right now. I try my best not to be one of those people because I just don't find fun in that, and it doesn't feel like genuine appreciation for that kind of stuff. But yeah, there was like a lot of good visuals. SZA won a bunch of awards. Beyonce won a bunch of awards. Neither one of them was there.
Both touring, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Beyonce doesn't really come to every BET Awards, although she has come to some. But when she's touring, she definitely doesn't come. And it's it's that catch-22 where people get mad, like, why'd y'all give them the awards? They wasn't coming. But then at the same time, they get mad when they don't get recognized because everybody knows they were the fucking people that slammed the shows and the charts, and it would have looked weird if they didn't win any awards.
Right.
And then it's the same thing with they don't always go to the Grammys and shit, and sometimes they go to the BET Awards and not the Grammys and all that stuff. So it was cool. To me, the big thing that everyone was talking about was Patti LaBelle's tribute to Tina Turner, where I'm not gonna lie, it was terrible. I feel like everyone was trying to cop please because we love Aunt Patty, and the truth is, she didn't know the words to the song. And the teleprompter had too many people standing up in that section, so she could no longer see the teleprompter, so she couldn't read the words. So her and her background singers were not on the same page.
And they were off. Like she say something, they said something. It was like a split second. It was just weird, and that trying to be funny. It's a little bit of everybody's fault. You know, it's a little bit of, hey, you didn't test this with people standing in front of them, which means you should have had it higher, raised it or whatever for her. And also, you know, it's one of those things. It's like people are like, well, you should have memorized the song too.
Well, they said she said she was sick later. It was just a lot of excuses. But you can see her singing. She's, you know, and then my favorite, like, I'm not mad at it, to be honest. I was entertained. It was funny to me.
Yeah, it was funny.
And I really come more for the humor.
Yeah, and that's her thing too. She's like, don't be fucking around. I need to see the words.
And my favorite thing was her singing when she was fucking up and trying to sing through it, where she was like, I don't know the words, y'all. I can't see them. You know, like she was like singing it instead of saying it.
At least she ain't lie to us, you know. And also it's one of them things where she's like, nigga, I'm old. Put the words up there. Make them bright.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about these tributes to really tell people like how it should or shouldn't go in that way. I think it's easy, obviously, in hindsight, to be like, why didn't she have the words memorized? Why didn't they pick a different song? I, honest to God, don't know the behind the scenes, because it could be that you do these things all the time, and normally the words and the teleprompter are up there. And so the stuff that we are looking at that we're like, that was a great tribute, is really just nothing went wrong with the teleprompter, and that's why we think it's a great tribute.
Right.
But it could be like, you know, if something would have went wrong with the teleprompter, we would have been like, that was a terrible tribute, because they didn't already know the words. So I don't know enough to truly say, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and one thing, it's a catch-22, like somebody say, a lot of normal ass people be singing the words. Probably half of the people singing along might probably didn't even know the words.
Yeah, but it's not. That's not the excuse, because that's like saying, I don't know the words when I'm in my car. Well, nigga, you're in your fucking car. No one's recording you.
That's true too.
If someone told you had to do a tribute, you might treat it differently. You know, I don't know enough behind the scenes to truly know how and why the shit is that way. So that's all I'm saying.
Right. Who knows, like the other things kind of behind the scene, they may have, like you say, practice it one way, and then come to find out, just you like, hey, things ain't going like we planned.
Yeah, for some reason they didn't think people would stand up in that section, and she couldn't read that shit. But it was just funny because she sounded like an old lady that didn't even have her glasses. Like, she was like, I don't know, I can't see, baby. Sound like when you hand your grandma some, you know, the instructions to the remote or whatever. She's like, I can't read this, baby. What is this?
And I don't blame her. At least she kept it real, which actually kept it funny.
But then, like, soon as she got to the chorus, it was amazing.
Yes.
Because, like, everybody knew the words to the chorus of the song. I forget which song it was. I think it was Simply the Best.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it was like the second verse of the Black National Anthem up in that bitch. It was like, I'm going in a new direction. Or never simply the best.
Yep, that's me.
I was like, this is simply a mess. But yeah, so rest in peace. But I always feel like BET Awards stuff it's always got some gallows humor, and that was this year's.
Oh yeah,
gallows humor.
I still had a good time.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you didn't have a good time. I did too. Yeah. Trying to think what else stood out to me. Oh, Sprite has a new commercial. They're honoring 50 years of hip hop. I don't know if they're gonna do it at the BET Hip Hop Awards or what, but I love that commercial with Rakim and all them in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing how Sprite became the brand that went all in on hip hop.
Yes, it did.
Like, I still remember those first few commercials when it was like Grand Poobah and shit freestyling with Sprite sitting on the stoop, and you're just like, you know, and I don't know if it's a chicken or egg thing. Like, what came first, the crack cocaine that they put into the Sprite and the McDonald's in the hood?
Come on,
or is it that
Sprite strong as shit?
Or was it the commercials that made them put the crack cocaine in the Sprite in the McDonald's in the hood? I don't know.
because you can't get it nowhere else. I don't care if you go somewhere else. I don't care. You open up a can, you get at the store. That shit don't hit like the McDonald's.
Shout out to whoever's job it was to edit the curses out of the live broadcast. They did their damn thing.
Man, they kept them busy. I don't know who was on stage, but baby, all I heard was boop, 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 boop. I was like, well, goddamn, they keeping that person busy.
It was also the most women I've ever seen perform at the Hip Hop Awards. And I love that, man. Just think 5-6 years ago, the only woman in hip hop felt like Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
And definitely the only woman that was getting like on stage, and every time you had like a feature or something, she'd be coming out to be a feature on the track because she was just running shit that hard. And now there were so many women up there performing by themselves and stuff. And I really just want to I think they should have gave a tribute to a Lifetime Achievement Award to Mercedes. Y'all may remember her from the No Limit album that I don't think ever came out, Rear End, because I feel like this has her blueprint all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a lot of butt cheeks and twerking and stuff on that stage.
Yeah,
and I feel like, and it wasn't like men putting black background singers up to twerk. It was women getting up there like, look at these cheeks.
Yep, women and other women.
Mercedes was the first one I really seen do that, Have I ever heard her song? No. Do I know what her album sound like? Of course not. But do I know that cover? Every black man of a certain age knows that fucking cover. Bent over that No Limit car.
You have to give honor what honor due.
They didn't have writers, and you could tell.
Yes, you could.
On the one hand, the stuff with I do want to know the behind the scenes machinations of how they were able to do the speeches and tributes with no writers. Because normally you read that off a teleprompter. How's that getting in a teleprompter? Were people making it up? Was there just nothing on the teleprompter and they were just saying stuff? Were they rehearsing lines backstage and just going out and talking? I don't know, and I couldn't really discern from that because you do need something on teleprompter to present somebody with an award or something, but maybe they were sending them out there with an envelope.
I guess so.
And being like, just say something.
Yeah, this is the winner. This is the people in the category. All right, go. It was like, you professionals.
I kind of preferred it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that's going against my profession to say that I preferred it without a writer, but I kind of preferred it because a lot of times the award show writing is gimmicky and hokey and corny on purpose, and the people haven't really rehearsed it. A lot of them aren't really good at delivering the lines. And so, like, to me, people are batting probably like a 10% ratio of me actually thinking they're funny. And a 90% ratio of me being like, just fucking open the envelope.
Right.
And so in this case, you just had people both basically opening the envelope.
Yeah, people going straight to the point. They was like, I'm not going to be out here long. I don't improv.
And the banter felt more authentic rather than them like something that you wrote for them. Because it's always like two actors or two people that don't necessarily come from the same walk of life or whatever. And and they gotta say something. It's not just because they both have a project to promote at the time. So, it's like, welcome to the stage, Ving Rhames and Eric Andre. And then you got to come up with something for Eric Andre to say to Ving Rhames that also kind of promotes their new projects. And it's just never, it's like, Eric, I understand that you have a TV show where it's called the Eric Andre Show. And then Eric Andre's like, thank you, Ving Rhames. And I understand you are part of Mission Impossible and you sit in a van. I often sit in the van to prank people. You don't say. I like Arby's. Ha ha ha. Now let's look at the upcoming hip hop award. And you're like, God damn, why did just fucking open the envelope?
Right. And somebody else brought up a good point. And it proves they could do it. They didn't have a host, which actually made the
That's what I'm saying.
It made it go smoother because a lot of times we have hosts. A lot of times they have like skits and shit they trying to do between the transition. All that shit was eliminated. You just had a DJ
and for the record, BET has had some great hosts and some funny, like they've had some hosts that put shit on the table. Tracy Ellis Ross killed it. Right. So it's not always like a bad thing to have a host. It's just what it made me think is this. I don't think other shows should try to do what BET did. Now they're going to, because the writer's strike is going to go on for a while.
Yes, it is.
And so you're probably going to need, some people are going to start doing these shows and they're going to think they can do what BET did. Here's why I don't think they can. the BET Awards has a benefit of something that none of these other shows really have. It's a culture.
Yeah.
And it's a night of bringing all of Black culture together in the same room. And there is a language to culture that undergirds the entire event. So you don't necessarily need writers and skits and bridges and entertainment in the way that you necessarily did. What they were able to do, I was so proud of, because and Kid Capri, who DJ'd our homecoming my freshman year of college, and to this day the best set I've ever been a part of. He's amazing. Kid Capri and the way they were bringing on hip hop acts, having them perform a minute or two of their songs and making a medley out, and they had them grouped together in certain ways where it's like, here's the Def Squad, okay, here's all the dance songs, okay, here is a Down South tribute. The way they were able to do that, no other show could have done that.
No, they wouldn't have been.
They don't understand the culture enough. They don't understand empowering Kid Capri and trusting him enough.
Right.
They don't understand that, yeah, there's gonna be some awkward lulls, and there are gonna be times when a host would have introduced everyone to tell them to sit back down and let us know what was coming up next and all that. We're not gonna have that. We're just gonna have MC Light taking us in and out of commercials, and we're gonna have Kid Capri introducing the acts, and then we're just gonna have people come out and
introduce themselves,
who told you who won what award and stuff like that. The announcer was telling you, like, you know, from the upcoming film such and such, Chris Rock or whatever, and then, you know, this motherfucker come out and read the thing. But yeah, I don't think anybody else could have done it, and I'm actually really excited that we were able to see that done. And I don't even want BET to try to recreate it, because it was because it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop. Having those rappers do what they did was so beautiful, because we saw the hip hop tribute at the Grammys, and I remember everyone thinking, wow, this is really well done. And it mostly felt like, because they got out of the way and let the hip hop tribute was the best part of the Grammys that night.
Yes.
And I said, but you know who gonna really do this? With BET. Because when BET get a hold of it, they understood the nuances. And I don't even think this is gonna be the best BET tribute. I think it's gonna be the BET Hip Hop Awards. It's gonna really give us the, like, God damn, that's a definitive take.
Right. That's probably when they're gonna be able to get more people and shit like that. People did that, but this person. So it's gonna be really, really interesting to see who they reach out to and how they collaborated up and stuff.
And they got their work cut out for them, because this was damn good. I'm talking like, you got your No Limits, moment. You got. It was just so good, man. Like, the Def Squad moment was so good, and the Migos performed together, which they haven't done since Takeoff died,
right?
And the rumors that they were beefing and they weren't really talking and shit, and so it was interesting to say, like, that was an emotional moment while these niggas was rapping Bad and Bougie and Takeoff's in the background, but it was, you know what I mean? Like, it was an emotional moment for everybody. I was like, man, I want BET to bring some other people that's not talking together. I want them to go get Anita and Babyface, put them up there,
right?
Get Deezus and Mero,
and bring the band
bring everybody back together. Dougie Fresh was there with Lil Vicious, who is 50 now. So I'm like, how long he gonna be Lil? Why he not just Vicious?
I don't know.
We call Lil Bow Wow now, even though he's still only 4'2". We know to call him Bow Wow. So I don't understand how this kid's gonna be Lil Vicious his whole life. He's grown Vicious now, mature Vicious even, But the reggae segment was hot. Patra was there, which I haven't seen Patra since motherfucking
years.
Rap City days or some shit. Mad Lion was there, looking like Craven the Hunter cosplay.
We seen Don Magic Wand in the background.
Bishop Don Magic Wand was there. He didn't rap or nothing. He was just there. Jack Harlow got nominated for an award. Of course, he wasn't gonna win.
And I was like, how?
I don't know. I do want to know who's sponsoring the Jack Harlow Industrial Complex for sure.
Somebody is.
This nigga's doing the white man can't. I don't know anybody that's a Jack Harlow fan, but I know he's around.
We don't roll in them circles. They roll deep, apparently.
Right. Remy Ma was out there, Fat Joe was out there looking great. Fab performed Breathe, which is just to me one of the forgotten hip hop classics to me. That song is a classic. I know every word. I love it. Ja Rule came out and everybody was hype, and it's like finally, man, because Ja Rule just unfairly got caricatured because the magnetism of 50 Cent's charisma really had people acting like Ja Rule was never hitting.
Right.
And that's really a shame because Ja Rule had some hits.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Ashanti used to fucking, as soon as a song come on, you like, well, turn this shit up. And then like 50 Cent came and made jokes about him. Everybody was like, yeah, man, he's corny. And I was like, okay. And then 50 started doing the same songs Ja Rule was doing.
Yep.
A whole bunch of singing on the chorus and shit and
songies.
pop hits. And I said, wait a minute. So y'all, it was wrong for him. Ja Rule was corny for Put It On You.
Right.
But then this nigga's not corny for Magic Stick.
Which was a banger.
21 Questions.
Those shits bang too.
50 Cent was literally singing.
I got the magic stick.
50 Cent was literally singing after he said singing was corny. He was like, singing, girl. Like, I'm like, bro, this is singing. You can't call the other nigga corny and do this, but he did it and it worked on y'all. Mm-hmm. And so anytime I see Ja Rule get a minute, I'm always happy for him because he unfairly got tarred and feathered. So let's see. Ice Spice performed. That was controversial. Listen.
I was about to say why?
Because I think people were saying she wasn't giving us anything. Like her performance. They were like, she not putting a lot of energy out. But I think if you're an Ice Spice fan, that's kind of part of why you like her. It's kind of like Rihanna at the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's controversial if you don't know nothing about her and her fan group and all this shit.
Right.
I don't necessarily think she's trying to sweat when she's performing, and I don't think she's ever gonna do that. That's her. If you like her music, which I'm a fan. Her thing is all laid back.
Right.
People was comparing it to like Cardi and shit. I was like, Cardi is like she gonna give you raw in your face performance.
Yeah, they're two different types of performers, and everybody isn't high energy when it comes to performing.
Right. So that was controversial on Twitter.
I liked her performance.
Okay. All right. Well, it wasn't controversial to Karen, everybody.
No, it was not.
So that's why it was controversial, because some people didn't like her performance, Karen. So that's what I was implying. She did have a shit ton of production on her set, and some people point out like her set looks similar to Cardi B's set from a couple years ago. One, there's only so much shit you can do on that stage. Two, I think it was kind of like a tribute. I don't think it was a diss. It was like a homage. But people keep trying to turn the Ice Spice versus somebody into something. They really want someone to take Ice Spice down, it feels like, more than the other rappers. I also saw a viral video of the girl. I don't even know her name. I'm not trying to be funny that I don't know her name. If I knew it, I'd say it. But the girl that made the rap song with my pussy pink, my booty hole brown.
That girl?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know her name. Someone in the chat probably knows it. But
I don't know her name either.
They show a viral video of them like playing her song, and then the gospel people are sitting in the foreground.
Oh no.
And they're just looking.
They was not ready.
They're just looking over, and everyone's saying how like they must have been embarrassed and this is disgusting. Look what we done to hip hop and all this stuff. All I'm saying is you could literally do that every single BET Awards, because the gospel people are there for the raunchy shit that happens later. People are like, I know they so embarrassed. I was like, who knows? That might be why they left the house. Like, I don't never get to see no titties, but
ever.
This is gonna be the one night of the year I get to definitely see some bona fide ass shaking, and I can't nobody say nothing. Mm-mm. I could just say I was there trying to save souls, And then Busta Rhymes gave he won the like Lifetime Achievement Award.
He gave an old man speech.
And he got recognized, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. Like, even when he first got up there and he was like, he was silent for like 30 seconds, and you could see he was basically trying to hold back tears, and then he just basically said, "Man, fuck it, I'm gonna cry." And then he started crying, and he gave his speech, and it was so good. It was such. This is why I love old black dudes getting old. One, we don't get to see it often. And two, I'd say Buster is a dude that's so positive and it's authentic and it's in a way that's not pandering.
Right.
And I know right now I feel like we're in the age of pandering, and that's what people value more than authenticity. Like they rather you say something the right way than do things the right way.
Agreed.
They rather you have the right words than have the right heart.
Right.
And I think a lot of times y'all can hear it on the show, and with the way I analyze things, I'm so against that at this point. I'm more skeptical of the people that seem to have the right words but don't do the right shit.
Right, because your actions matter more to me than your words.
Yeah, okay, you figured out the right language and you up on the terms, but every time I look up, you in some shit and people don't really fuck with you.
Right.
And you seem to always have something around you. And what I liked about Busta is that this is the same thing I said about when Kendrick dropped that song where he was talking about black on black crime. And everybody got mad. And I was like, I'm not mad at that at all because I feel that way sometimes. And you a lying ass black person, or you not in the community if you say you never felt that. If you've never had that thought, am I a hypocrite for the fact that I'll get mad if a cop kills a black person, but I won't get mad if that black person's life is taken by another black person that I know? If I don't have that same level of like, what the fuck anger, what does that mean for me? It's okay to think that. It's okay to express that. You don't have to like walk around and be like, we the only people. He didn't say nothing like that. But I understood it. It's when a black person is talking to a younger black dude and he's like, hey, if you want to be in corporate America, you're gonna have to cut your dreads off. This is, back in the day for the Crown Act. I understood exactly what the fuck that nigga was saying, because he wasn't saying it like, because I hate your dreads, little nigga. What he was saying was, I want you to have a job. You're doing all the steps to get this job. Unfortunately, the one thing that's going to keep you from getting the job is they're not going to let you have a job with that hair.
Right.
And no, I'm not telling you it's fair. I think it's actually could be very unfair.
I think it's fucked up.
And right? I had to cut my dreads off. But they brought me in here to give you advice on how to get the job. Right. They didn't tell me to empower you to make your own job. They brought me in here to tell the graduating class of blank, this is what you're going to have to do. Right? So all that to say, I love when Busta Rhymes is talking about like hip hop doesn't have to be negative and glorify only negative things, and we can still be positive. And then in the same sentence, which people probably would think was hypocritical, but it wasn't to me, he expressed love for those people. Like, no, but I love hip hop and he started naming specific acts, new acts, not just generational, like let me bring up my generation and then shit on the new generation. And he expressed a level of solidarity and a perspective of wholeness of the culture that was beautiful, and only somebody that's had time to be in the culture and think about it and to be relevant through 20 years, maybe even longer, possibly 30 years at this point, to be relevant the whole time, to be respected throughout the industry the whole time, to be a dude that is showered with love the whole time. Yeah,
because people love Busta.
Think about, I don't even think I remember a Busta Rhymes beef. Who got the Busta Rhymes diss track? And they hear about his work ethic and how when he left Leaders of the New School and he was scared because everything on the outside feels like it's preordained. And of course, when you're looking with envy at somebody, you think the work is easy.
Right.
I remember I had a friend tell me about the blackout tips when I got laid off, and we were able to monetize this thing, and I was sweating every night. I wasn't sleeping. I was up to 4 or 5 in the morning working on a website, working on all the, trying to learn how to even monetize this stuff and all that.
I remember that.
And I remember talking to a friend and he said, man, you're so lucky you got laid off. And this is after the show had started to like, you know, we were starting to make some money and make ends meet off of it. And you know, I never took offense to it really. I just kind of like, all right, you know, I said it just didn't feel that way.
Right. At that time, I would have rather been working.
Like maybe it feels that way, you know, now a few years ago. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when I was like, they're about to cut off my unemployment, you know, when I was like, if we aren't making the amount of money I was making from unemployment in a month, I don't know what I'm gonna do. When North Carolina cut unemployment down from 2 years to 6 months,
right?
When they cut down how much you could get a week to just $300,
right? Not based off your salary.
I'm gonna be real. I wasn't feeling lucky. I wasn't like, thank God I got this time. I was thinking, oh my God, what I'm gonna do if I let my wife down, if I let my household down, you know, that's what I was thinking. And still got to go out and be funny and creative the whole time and put out a product that makes people want to pay for it. Right. That's what I was thinking. And so to hear Busta Rhymes' perspective, because I'm by no means Busta Rhymes, but when he was saying like, dog, I was just pretending to be having time in the studio. I'd find out who was coming to the studio. I'd pretend that I left something in there from the night before and be like, oh, while I'm here, I might as well do a feature. And he said he basically innovated the feature for rap. Like, you know, I was thinking about us as a podcast. I'm sure we weren't the first ever. I know that's probably not. I haven't done any research. But
one of the early adopters.
I'm 100% sure we were the first people that were consistently having someone on their show that was not in their studio with them.
Right.
Because we started that part years ago.
Before Skype.
And while somebody might have had like an episode or two where they had like, oh yeah, a phone call, we created something called the Chitlin Circuit. And it was Black podcasts that we saw doing their thing and decided, yo, let's do something together. And we would be like, we can do it through the phone. We'll Skype, you can Skype in. We use our desktop speakers and a blue snowball mic. I'm not saying it sounded great, but now everybody does it. This is before Zoom.
Right.
You know, this is back when before you didn't Skype. If you didn't have a certain type of mixer, you couldn't even do the Skype thing.
We was actually turning our speakers like
that's what I just said. Yeah. Desktop speakers into the blue snowball mic. And so we did innovate that. And definitely for Black podcasts, I still don't think even a lot of white podcasts were doing it. Not saying it wasn't possible or they didn't do it at all. We were consistently doing it. Go back and listen to those episodes, and it's us with Where's My 40 Acres? Us with Insanity Check. Us with Cold Slither. Everybody. Just before you had that technology. Now everybody does it. Mm-hmm. But that's just how the desperation and the innovation that we was trying to do to make this a cultural thing. And I think listening to Busta Rhymes describe that process and go way over the time, right? And like take his time and like,
I'm glad he took his time.
And then to top that off, they go to a commercial because everybody's like, damn, that's fucked up. We didn't even really get, when they do a tribute, you normally get like a bunch of artists doing a tribute to that artist, and then that artist accepts an award. Everyone hadn't watched the BET Awards in a long time, I guess, or they forgot. That's not how BET Awards do it ever. Normally, those motherfuckers perform. And so Busta Rhymes came up there and performed, and he didn't just give us lip service. This nigga illustrated everything he said in that fucking speech.
And he had everybody coming in and out, new acts, old acts. He was like he was performing. That nigga was like sweating in his white.
And this
is like white linens.
I knew he was gonna give it to us because he was like crying and shit on that stage. And it was really emotional for him. And I said, man, that was great. And it almost felt like the closing. But then he came out and just basically said, every new rapper and rap, like every woman he shouted out, they were in his shit.
Yes, they were.
Every feature he did, they was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so beautiful. It made me proud to love hip hop. It made me proud to be from that generation. And to watch a dude that old also like bridge the divide generationally, the bridge the divide gender wise, to still have his homeboys there. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I loved it.
And this is one reason why I'm keeping it real. I do not shit on the BET Awards, because nowhere else are you gonna get this for somebody like Busta Rhymes.
Right.
As millions of records as he sold for all types of artists, not only hip hop, like just artists in general.
Mhm.
Because they were in his tribute, they was talking about like all his songs, and a lot of people he performed with and stuff like Janet Jackson, Sean Puffy Combs, and all, like they was like had those people talking about him and how great he was to work with and things like that. It's like, yeah, you would never get this on another show. If you did, it wouldn't have been this. You would have got a snippet, and they probably wouldn't have allowed him to do his own tribute.
Yeah, I just loved it, and that's the only place that's gonna happen.
Agreed.
Like it was just no one else.
We love us.
No one else understands our culture enough to understand you need to give Busta Rhymes a fucking 40-minute segment. 20 minutes of speech, 20 minutes of performance. And if you go over time, you go over time.
Right.
But this is his moment, and we're never gonna see that anyone shout that out like that.
And I appreciate that. I really do. And I appreciate a lot of the artists performing, you know, because MC Light performed a lot, and these people are like performing, you know what I'm saying? Like they was like, no, I know my lines, I'm here, I'm performing, and y'all gonna get these hits.
Sirius XM to shut down Stitcher podcast app.
I was seeing that. I was on Twitter and Nick Jew had posted it, and she was talking about it. The thing about Stitcher, me and Roger remember when Stitcher first came. When Stitcher first came out, Stitcher was revolutionary because it was one of the first apps that it didn't matter if you had an iPhone or Android, you could use it. And Stitcher was one of the first apps to do like the reviews and the 5 stars and all that. iTunes may have had it, but Stitcher was the one where, hey, you can do reviews, you can do 5 stars. Stitcher, I would be forever grateful to Stitcher because Stitcher's algorithm as far as referring stuff was great. Stitcher was one of the first major apps to do awards and shits decades ago before anybody else was on it. Because I remember when they had their first one, we were even nominated for it. Reggie for Once the Tea actually went out to California and stuff. We ended up losing, but it was just for the fact that we were nominated and we was in the group. And because I remember, because Mark Maron actually did the announcement for that show. We actually listened, streamed live. I give my flowers to Stitcher. But I think what happened was when Stitcher was bought, and this happened to Skype, and this happens to a lot of other things. And it's very heartbreaking. People do these things. They have these great innovations. And while the people that actually love it is over it, it does everything it's supposed to do. They're constantly pumping it. They're constantly stretching it. They're constantly they're changing the game. They're innovative. Somebody buys it, and when people buy something that they did not invest in, they let it go to shit. And that's what happened with Stitcher. It ended up getting bought, and it just went to shit. All of a sudden, because I used to love Stitcher. Stitcher was great. You used to keep a track of how many hours you're listening, what you did. It had friend recommendations. It was a beautiful, beautiful app way before Spotify. And my thing is Stitcher actually could have been one of the big boys if the money and resources, would have been invested in it to have it continue to grow. And I've seen this happen with other things. It's very frustrating when these things are bought, because when people buy it, they actually just kill it and kind of absorb it versus actually allowing it to grow and to become something great, or taking it and integrating it into their things. Because sometimes people buy shit because they don't want to do the work to build it, and then they don't understand it and they don't know what to do with it, so they just let it go to the wayside and die.
Yeah, and it did go through some functionality situations after it was purchased. They also used to have a really good integration for stats and all this type of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. They killed it before they killed it because we used to shout out Stitcher and stuff because we had a lot of traffic over there. And then just if you didn't become one of their premium type of shows, it just kind of shut everything down for you over there.
Yep.
And then fans just stopped listening to us over there for the most part. Not that there were none, but there weren't a significant amount like there used to be. And I do think this is what happened when you buy your competition. A lot of these mergers in social media and in the Silicon Valley type of startup era, it's a lot of ideas that aren't profitable. You know, they were trying to figure a way to make Stitcher profitable. I remember when they put it in cars and stuff like that, and it just wasn't catching on in that way. And when you get bought by like your competitor, like a Sirius XM kind of buys it, to me, a lot of times it's just a slow death because they don't really want to manage it and empower it because they still see it as kind of a competition. And in the article I was reading, it said they're really trying to move people over. They're not gonna back away from podcasting with Sirius XM, but they're trying to move people over to the Sirius XM app.
Right, which most people they're not going to do because it's one of those things where sometimes people have to understand. Sometimes you have two different audiences, and Stitcher was like, we are podcasts. Like I'll just say, they was like, we not integrating with music. Podcast is our baby. Podcast is not an afterthought. Podcast isn't something that we did out of necessity. We do podcasting. Sirius is satellite. Sirius satellite.
Yeah.
Like there's two different audiences. And you're trying to take something for podcasting and merge them over. The people that got Stitcher, a lot of them are not going to buy Sirius FM.
The people that were paying for it premium, the Stitcher podcast premium, they're going to now they could be able to listen to podcasts ad free. They've been sent a 6-month trial offer, free trial for Sirius XM Platinum streaming. So, you know, they're like, this thing is shutting down, I think, at the end of August. So
right. And it's really, really sad though, because if they wanted to do this right, when they went premium, because I remember seeing their premium stuff. When they went premium, they didn't empower the creators. They basically, for a lot of them, got a bunch of celebrities to come in, bundled it up, and was like, this is the price. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, what happened if I'm an individual podcast and not a celebrity that actually wanted to make money? It's like they didn't even think about monetizing in that way where you could put it on the platform, get a percentage, and everybody continue to make money that way. They was like, nope, fuck it. Here's our price point. These are the apps. You know, these are the group of podcasts in there. I don't even know if you got to pick and choose what it is. So I got thousands of podcasts, but you know, I'm paying for something, and a lot of unless I'm a fan of these celebrities, I might be paying for some shit, and I'm like, I don't know these niggas. Like, y'all give me a bunch of shit that I'm never gonna listen to.
Yeah, I think also just the charts and all that stuff don't really matter. Like, this is the same issue Spotify going through, where their thing was acquiring big name talent to make shows, but they're not podcasters. They're just famous people whose name is on a podcast. And it doesn't mean they can't do a podcast and it can't be great, but the incentive structure is not there. It's not their full-time thing. It's not what they're really about. And no matter how much money you throw at them, they're gonna get money other ways. And maybe it sounds counterintuitive, but if I was the head of one of these places, I would be trying to get podcasters who are full-time podcasters or trying to be full-time podcasters, throwing money at them to turn them into full-time podcasters, right. But we get to control their content in that we own the content. And the kind of person that will make that deal there's only two kind of people that make that deal. People that really want to be podcasters and succeed. Mm-hmm. And people that can be like, I don't give a fuck if you keep all this content. I don't care. And they went for the I don't care crowd. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to control Meghan Markle. At the end of the day, she can go off and do other things. And so if she wants to go and make a show somewhere else, if she wants to go act again, there's revenue streams available to her. So you're not going to just be able to tell her, like, give us 30 episodes or else. She like, or else then. And
Right. She wouldn't have take a loss or give you your money back and be like, it don't matter.
And it's not just her, it's all the kind of people they went after. I'm just saying Meghan Markle because I know that's the person they got mad at. But,
right.
But like what to me, I don't even know how you can be mad at her. Yes, she did 12 episodes in 3 years. She was never gonna do 50 or whatever number you think she should have done. That wasn't gonna she got a life and she don't need it like that. If you wanted the kind of people that would put out 50 episodes, go find somebody putting out 50 episodes right now. Go find that person, promote them on your algorithm. You know, suggest them to people when they log into Spotify.
Right.
But they don't do that. They want a shortcut and they want to have the big names. Now, the thing with Stitcher is they're going to continue their big name podcast. Mm-hmm. They don't sound like they're having layoffs. Well, how come you said like that? You knew that already? Or?
And the thing is because they actually, I think they got Trevor Noah coming. They have more people.
Trevor Noah's coming to Spotify, not Stitcher.
Okay, my bad.
Stitcher has...
okay, I thought you said Spotify, my bad.
Yeah. Stitcher's going to continue their big name podcast, which is a little surprising to me.
Right.
Because normally when you're talking about cutting back on money and shit, this the first shit you get rid of is like, hey, man, you can have these shows back because they cost money to promote and to keep on our platform. And we're cutting money. They also said they aren't planning on having layoffs. Right. This is an interesting. Now, I don't know how that's going to work out months from now, but this is what they're saying.
Okay. Like I said, we'll see. A lot of times they do this sweet, flowery shit in 6 months from now and be like the real plan.
Yeah.
Because now shit got to merge.
I don't know.
Duplicate jobs and all this stuff.
I don't know what their plan is. We'll see. But yeah, let's talk off camera with Kelly Ripa, Sounds Gay, Sound Detectives, as well as Earwolf, which is home of the popular How Did This Get Made and more. Other popular podcasts acquired through Stitcher include Freakonomics Radio, What the Fuck with Mark Maron. Those podcasts will all continue on. So I don't know if they're letting them out of their deals. I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see what they do.
If they're going to merge them on the Sirius.
It'll be interesting.
I can see them doing that too.
Cardi B supposedly cheated on Offset according to Offset's now deleted IG story, which is interesting because Cardi said that is not, she didn't cheat on him. The Twitter Spaces Monday night, the rapper started singing Keisha Cole's "I Should Have Cheated." First of all, let me say you can't accuse me of all the things you know that you are guilty of. Sing it with me, y'all. And I see that it's easy. She said this while listening to Keisha Cole's "I Should Have Cheated." And I see that it's easy for you to blame everything on me. Yes, honey. She said, listen, don't pay attention to that country man talking about Offset. That motherfucker spiraling and thinking shit. Come on, y'all. I'm fucking Cardi B, nigga. I think sometimes motherfuckers forget on Cardi B. If I was giving this pussy to anybody, it would be out. I'm not just anybody. Can't fuck no regular degular schmegula because they gonna tell the world. And I can't fuck nobody in the industry because they gonna tell too. Please, boy, stop acting stupid. Stop acting stupid. Going crazy over fucking space. Don't play me. What the fuck? Stop playing. That's all I'm gonna motherfucker say. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like, you can't be serious. Don't play, motherfucker. Got me looking fucking crazy and shit for no reason. Anyways, I'm out. Y'all know what it is. And of course, people are bringing up that he did cheat on her and she forgave him. And they worked it out and they, been together and seemingly happy on social media and stuff for I guess a couple years now. Shit, more than a couple years. That was at 2018 that happened. So 5 years.
Yeah, and like you said, in some time, people let shit go when it comes to time.
Here's what I think is interesting, and I'm being consistent on this. I'm not gonna waver. I think people are, and it's weird to see people our age, but I guess it's just people just think about relationships the way they do in like third grade, and they just never grow out of it.
They don't.
Because like, there's a glee and a delight that people think she would be getting back at him for cheating, and I'm always gonna find it so toxic and weird because like, why wouldn't you just leave? Because I like if someone cheated on me, I'm not staying with them and cheating back and being like, haha. Like we now have a fucked up toxic relationship that will, to me, is not. We can't be even. There's not an even there.
Right. It's not an even.
Like peace and balance is what I strive for in my life. I get it if you're just like childish, or maybe you're, it's that stand shit, or you're just rooting. You think in some way you're rooting for her, even though they got kids and all this shit, and you think 5 years later cheating would make it like a funny, like a finally everything's cool. I just find it to be super toxic. If it's true, I don't think it's true. She said she didn't do it. I'm all right. It doesn't really seem like it came out of any true proof or anything. If anything, it says something about his insecurities. If she's telling the truth, it says something about the insecurity of people that cheat and how they'll never be able to look at somebody and see them as not like them. They're always gonna think, it's gonna happen to me, and that's one of the reasons you shouldn't do it. But I just don't see the delight in watching this family possibly break up and squabble. If this, if there's any truth to this stuff.
Right. And it's also, in my thing, it's one of those things where people in normal, regular ass niggas, just broke niggas, see people work through this all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where either we talk about it, discuss it, work through it, or we don't need to be together. I mean, to me, it's just that simple. And like you say, but that comes with a certain level of maturity. I think a lot of people, they don't have that level.
Yeah, to me, I would see that as, I don't know how you see that as a positive thing. I guess just it's not our lives, and people are living parasocially, so these aren't really. They don't really care about these people the same way they didn't really care when it first happened. Which is always, something I have to remind myself is like a lot of people, it's entertainment to them, and this is one of the reasons I talk about, even with us having fans and stuff, I keep a line between us because we are still entertainment fodder to them. And these are always reminders of, like, if something went wrong in our lives, there are people that are just going to be entertained by it.
Agreed.
And they won't care how it really affects us because they're incapable of caring how it really affects us because it's entertainment. It's like trying to care how, a TV show character is affected. You're not a real person to them.
Correct.
And so I think I'm not really a person that consumes entertainment in that way. And I don't see people in that type of fashion of entertainment. So to me, I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. They family about to fold off of this shit. And it would be super weird of her to have patched things up, made it work for X amount of years, and then just throw it all away one night because I still need to get my lick back off of him cheating. To me, that would be immature and kind of ridiculous. And the same way if the genders were reversed, I'd say that's kind of ridiculous. It seemed like y'all had worked the shit out and you just threw it away off of one decision. But I also had to remember, like, this is one of the reasons I talk about love and relationships. I don't see it the same way. I don't see them as entertainment things for people. I'm not. This is why I don't watch reality TV shows about love and stuff, because it's not real. It's all fake. And it reminds me of, I feel like everybody deserves a chance to be loved. Everybody deserves a chance to love themselves and stuff. But also all the times I see how much people don't really want that. And this reminds me how much people don't really want that, because this is some junior high school level thinking. If you're like, ha, got him. I'm like, ha, your family gone?
Right.
Ha, fuck our kids now that just,
Because you're looking at the bigger picture, like all the consequences and things behind it. But a lot of people treat celebrities and these people like avatars, and it becomes a war of sexes and all other bullshit,
yes.
Which is actually technically unrelated to the foundation of love.
It's the war of the sexes thing, which is so, I don't know.
And for a lot of people, that's what love is. Love is a war, particularly straight people. Love is a war of the sexes. Love is about a tug of war. I win, you win. Who keeps up with the points? Who is flexing the most?
Yeah.
Who is the boss? Who is running the show? Who is telling the other one what to do? Who wins the argument? And my thing is, bitch, that's not love to me.
It just seemed like this would be the opposite of that. Like a marriage and a relationship should be the opposite of war. But yeah, I think it still is for a lot of people. And I think it's very weird that when stuff like this happens, I always find it weird. I think, and for the record, I've talked about it before. I find it just as weird the people who are happy when someone gets cheated on. I find it all weird. Like, I think it was weird that people were like happy when Beyonce got cheated on to be like, it can see just because she thinks she the baddest bitch on the planet. I'm like, what did you win?
Right.
What did you win? Did you get something in the mail? Why did this make you smile? This is such a weird thing, but anyway, good luck to them.
And also,
I think if he's even accusing her of this, that means there's a lack of trust, period.
yeah, also it's one of those things where misery loves company, particularly online. There's a lot of unhappy people online. And we've seen it when people are unhappy online, this shit they do. And when I've been online long enough, and I've seen men do this and I've seen women do this. How it's fuck these niggas, fuck these bitches, fuck these niggas, fuck these bitches. Then when they're in love, you slowly see the shit dissolve and get less and less and less and less and less. Because now all of a sudden the energy that you were spewing online all of a sudden goes into that person. So people do want love. They do want it. But when they don't have it, it's fuck all these other people for being happy.
It just feels weird that people would think. To me, it feels weird that people would be like, finally, she cheated back. I'm like, but you know what it is? You know what it is? So many of these motherfuckers have been hurt.
Yes.
That they're just happy somebody else got hurt. Parasocially, they can live out their fantasy. That's what. Okay, never mind. I moved on.
Yes.
All right, that's it. Let's go to the next article. You Are the Father. Maury now selling at home paternity test kits.
That's the name of it. You Are the Father.
The results are in is the name of the test.
Oh, let's go. The results are in.
That's a DNA test. Is 99.9% accuracy. You basically follow the instructions, send it to a DNA diagnostic center, and then they send you the results and let you know if you're the child's parent or not.
I don't think it would be better they send you a video and tell you to record your response.
Yeah. I wonder what they should put a commercial out that's just motherfuckers getting up dancing and then cameras following women. And then cameras following women back to the recesses of a studio to watch them fall in the heap on the ground and start crying.
Falling out in their front yards.
I feel like that will complete the set here. Let's see. Why killer whales won't stop ramming boats in Spain? So it's two theories apparently in this thing with the black dolphins. They said orcas only approach a tiny fraction of the boats that go through, but about 1 in 5 of those interactions results in severe damage requiring a tow. They haven't hurt any people, but they have destroyed like people, the ability for those ships to navigate, like tore the rudders off and stuff. And so people right now think the first is that the orcas are just playing.
They're smart creatures. I don't know why people think just because these animals aren't human that they're dumb. They've learned that, hey, that's the shit that make it go. Fuck it up.
Well, anytime this same thing happened with Telecom when he killed them people in the thing, and SeaWorld kept being like, he just playing. I'm like, I don't know. After the first couple murders, feels like he not playing no more.
Maybe still think it's a game. It is not a game.
This isn't a 15-year-old putting their little brother in the suplex and accidentally hurting him. This seems to be an intentional drowning. He plays every day right in front of the crowd, and they give him treats, and then he goes back and everyone applauds. I think he knows when he's dragging you by your foot and tearing you to pieces and leaving you at the bottom of the fucking pool. Playtime over.
Right.
But then the second theory is white Gladys. Okay. So they think there's a specific leader of the pod named White Gladys who may have become entangled in some fishing gear, which is a common threat to orcas. And It could have been an accident or an illegal fishing attempt, but whatever happened, she took that personally.
Come on.
And she
It was like, not grandma.
And White Gladys apparently went and told everybody,
fuck them up.
We fucking boats up now. And all the other orcas,
like, they fuck with the wrong one today, or maybe the right one. I don't know.
Either way, they was right. Orcas are very matriarchal, and so once they seen Big Mama doing it, everybody started doing it.
Big Mama, not your fan.
Right. So they started fucking up. I don't know if they seen the newest Avatar. I don't know if I just listen between this shit. I seen a yacht that the winds was blowing the fucking deck chairs on the people, almost killing them. The submarine that imploded. The ocean not fucking around no more.
No.
Some sharks attacked David Attenborough's Netflix documentary crew for the first time. I feel like the ocean is like Houston right now. If you're rolling through town, you need to call the J Prince of the ocean. You know, like whoever, you need to tap in with whoever is in charge down there. Call White Gladys. Hey, we want to do a documentary. If that's cool with you, you know what I'm saying? Can you roll with us so we don't get attacked? Because it's not a game.
Y'all need to make a truce. Pay your fees.
The ocean is sick of our shit. Okay, Namor's down there or something. And I'm not sure how much longer this is gonna go without some people dying.
Right.
These feel like warnings to me.
Right, because they like, we can go a lot lower than y'all can.
Just leave them alone.
Right, but if we can't find them, of course you can't.
Right.
Just stay home.
Speaking of the ocean, though, the OceanGate CEO, he's the dude that's in charge of this submersible. It was basically a submarine that's not certified.
Oh, the one that imploded.
It's a submarine that needs help to like be a submarine. That's why it's called a submersible. You can't open the door from the inside. Somebody gotta unbolt it from the outside.
Which means if somebody's late, all y'all niggas just keep standing up there until they get there.
Yeah, like it's anyway. The more stuff that comes out about this submersible, the worse it looks for the people that got in it and for the dude that was in charge.
Wasn't the dude in charge the one that went down with him?
Stockton Rush. Now you normally think it would inspire confidence that the person that is the billionaire owner would be on the trip with you. I'm not gonna lie. That would make me feel like, oh, okay, they must know what they're doing. Or they crazy. And it sounds like it was the other one for them. It don't sound like he knew what he was doing.
Because people are coming out that's in this field. They was like, yeah, they even have the dude that made Avatar.
James Cameron
coming like, hey dog, like I've been down there and yeah dog, like this is the shit that we did. Yeah, that's not a good look.
James Cameron sounds disgusted. People was trying to act like, look at this asshole talking bad about these people. James Cameron done been down to see the Titanic more than anybody else on the planet Earth.
Right.
He actually knew one of the people that died. He didn't seem like he was taking like, bitches, you dumb. He sounded like angry that this motherfucker kept going down there fucking around till he found out. Right. He sounded mad that this dude skirted all types of regulations, all types of safety rules. And honestly, every quote that comes out makes the shit more stupid. Because like nobody really was keeping up with this man like that. But now the quotes come out and it's him saying shit like, you know, I'm tired of all these certifying agencies with they over the top rules and regulations.
Oh, so that was the dude we was listening to today.
But Karen's trying to say that y'all, sorry everybody. It's a podcast and y'all weren't in the car with us earlier.
Y'all was not. I'm sorry.
I was listening to this podcast. It's called Behind the Bastards. They started a series on him today. His name is Stockton Rush, and they talk about the news and stuff around him before the implosion, the like his background, his family, and all this stuff. And yeah, he did not even certify his submersible.
That dude was wild. That dude was like, yeah, I'm trying to make this money. They trying to say we can't go no lower than, what is it, 100-something feet or whatever, 200 feet. He was like, yeah, a few people died, but what about these dollars?
Okay, so Karen is not relaying the facts. That will go listen to that episode. What he was talking about in that situation was people working on the oil rigs and doing repairs. The industry moved to using drones instead of people because people were dying if they went over 150 feet down while trying to work on these oil rigs. And he was one of the people that was against that, basically being like, okay, so people is dying, and what? We should still let humans do that work. We don't need to send drones down there. And so that's what he was talking about. That's not necessarily the same thing as a submersible. So he gave a speech at a talk. He gave a talk at last October and said there are certifying or semi-certifying agencies. These programs are over the top in their rules and regulations, but they had nothing with carbon fiber. So we had to go out and work on that. And one of the things I learned is, when you're outside the box, it's really hard to tell how far outside the box they really are. And we were pretty far out there. The Titan was never certified, despite Rush being repeatedly urged to get it done by at least one expert. Robert McCallum, who runs an ocean expedition company, shared emails with the BBC that showed him communicating with Rush on the issue. I think you are potentially placing yourself and your clients in a dangerous dynamic. In your race to the Titanic, you are mirroring the famous catch cry, "She is unsinkable." Rush responded that he was tired of industry players who try to use safety argument to stop innovation.
Yeah, he fucked around.
The safety argument?
The safety argument, which means we don't want people to die. We don't want you to die. And what's so crazy about this, like, I've been listening to NPR and something, and they've been talking to people, and they was talking to like some experts in the field, and one of the dudes, I think his professor or something, he was saying like he tells his students physics, you can't see physics, and physics will fuck you up. So, that pressure, you can't see it, but it's real regardless of if you believe in that shit or not, and you will die.
Well, this is the way a lot of libertarian billionaire types talk. It's one of the reasons most of your Silicon Valley startups have the same like arc of what they do is they call it disrupting, but essentially it's deregulation. It's I'm going to attempt to do something that has already been done, but I'm going to do it with no regulations. And I'm going to sell the fact that there are no regulations as a positive, as if regulations and safety don't go hand in hand. Right. And it's all of these startups, by the way. I don't care if it's Uber, Airbnb, this motherfucker, the SpaceX, Twitter. It's all, the formula is always the same. It is always, what if we didn't have regulation in that area? That's why it's like, we just need a free speech, the town hall. What does that really mean? No regulations. You can say and do anything.
Right.
Then the next step is always, here's the consequences. Here's why you need regulations. And typically when that happens, they lose popularity. With Uber, and this is why you need to know who you're hiring as a driver, because motherfuckers getting sexually assaulted.
Right.
This, people are being racist on your Airbnb app because unlike a hotel, there's laws about a hotel. This being your private domicile, you can just racially discriminate.
Right.
Because who's going to enforce that? Who's going to notice the pattern and say, you don't rent to black people? Well, you don't have the HUD. You don't have a HUD for Airbnb. So they're just trying to stay a step ahead of where regulations and rules have already been applied. Mm-hmm. That's the same mentality this guy had. Was, I don't think your rules, I think you can be a lot less safe and do the same thing. And the ocean was like, yeah, player, that's not true.
That's not true. It was one of those things where I learned some things. I was like, oh, this shit can explode and implode. I was like, oh, like, you know, like the ocean was like, oh, player, come on down here and see what we think about your non-regulation GameStop off-brand controller ass. See what we think.
So that was a big thing too. Is there's a picture that went viral where this man has essentially a Logitech controller.
A Mad Cats.
It looked like the controller that it looks like the controller that your cousin gives you when you come over to his house and he gonna use his regular PlayStation controller, and now you got to use the one that, you know, the button stick. It didn't help that it looked like that.
Right. And a lot of the regulations and safety shit they have is for a reason. Like once they go so far down, things that are properly fit regulations, if something happened, the submarine would be like, and they would actually take itself back up on its own accord. Fuck what you think. They didn't have none of these features on there.
So the Logitech controller thing, people were making jokes like, did the batteries run out, stuff like that. it got bad because it actually Logitech suffered a stock hit. And they got sarcastic Amazon reviews over this controller with people trying to be funny. Their stock plunges had plunged. Their stocks had plunged as much as 11% on Wednesday.
Goddamn.
Yeah, the controller is a $50 controller. So
it hooks up wirelessly.
Questions and answer section are like, can I use this for my submersible?
They had jokes.
Would you recommend this controller for piloting a tourist submarine? Asking for a friend, thanks.
And I know they had the jokes.
Yeah. Someone left a 1-star review for a different controller, F310 model, that said, look elsewhere for your submarine needs. Controller sank my submarine.
Oh, the internet is a mess.
200 people voted that as a helpful review.
I know that's bad, but good jokes.
Someone said, perfect for piloting a mini submarine, verified purchase. I had a friend who about an F710, and I kept telling him, bro, one day those batteries are going to run out and it's going to kill you. Well, guess who hasn't been heard from in a few days and has caused a massive search and rescue mission?
Oh,
sure,
no.
the F710 is a better grip to it than the F310, but the certainty of not having a controller die mid-use is such an excellent feature. I don't know how anyone can pass it up. I can slam dunk demons in Doom Eternal for hours and then take the very same gamepad, plug it into my submersible for a deep sea dive. Then, if I'm feeling bored, I can unplug it from my vessel and put it in my laptop so I can enjoy some Subnautica with the fishes, all with the comfort of knowing that I won't be sleeping with them when I plug the controller back into my vessel and reach for the surface.
The hell is wrong with people?
Don't gamble on wireless controllers. The Logitech F310 is far from perfect, but for the versatile needs and whims of the modern world, it is certainly the right tool for the job.
The hell is wrong with the internet?
Yeah, it's been interesting because a lot of people have been hemming and hawing both ways over like. I know this is kind of a complex thought to express, but I think we're on a podcast. I can express it here. I think it's weird that people are delighting in their deaths specifically because the people that died were rich. That doesn't necessarily feel like a political praxis to me, or like it's not making the statement that people think it's making. That it just feels like the real truth is that we like funny deaths. Shout out to our podcast. Mm-hmm. We've been one of those people. We laugh at funny death all the time. We're all going to die. Someone's going to die in funny ways, ironic ways, whatever. And, you know, to me, the people are dead. I don't really see any harm in laughing at it. And I don't think we're alone in that. It's just gallows humor. It's how we all process. But I think it's weird that people are trying to add a political spin like this is some type of activism. You're not a hero for laughing at these people dying.
Right.
And it just goes to the super ego of the fucking social media user that we feel like we need to be heroes in everything. Sometimes you just laugh at something because you're kind of an asshole. Because you're not being mature. Kind of a dick. And there's not a right heroic answer that makes you look good. No one's gonna pat you on the back. You like, yeah, you're laughing at essentially a tragedy, but you know, we laugh at tragedies all the time. I don't feel like a hypocrite because I've laughed at. We make puns about people like falling in a vat or something at a job and being like, "Oh, here's some jokes."
Oh yeah.
Like I don't see the, you know, like I'm not being a hypocrite, but I think I've never felt like I was a hero for that either. Like, oh, it's okay because that man was a terrible person, so we can laugh. Like, just admit it's kind of like the Colosseums, the Greek, Roman, that Colosseum, where you have something in you that need to see violence and death, and occasionally you laugh at it, but it's this newish, not newish, but it's this I'm a hero version of it that I think is such bullshit.
Yeah.
The second thing is you're not broken if you don't think it's funny. We've had people that tapped out on listening to our show because they didn't think a story we covered or something was funny. And that's right. I don't think, if I'm being fair, nothing ever is funny, to be honest.
Right.
You know, like everything's kind of tragic. My brain processes things differently. And that's how I survive and I cope and I share this platform and y'all hear it. But nothing's ever really funny. There's always something fucked up about everything you cover.
It is.
So if this made you sad or whatever, that's cool. But also, I get it. We're sick of these fucking like libertarian usurping safety ass motherfuckers trying to tell us they're better and smarter than us. And like whenever one of them gets it, it's like people laughing at Elon Musk behind Twitter. It's funny because look what happened. This is the ultimate worst case of fuck around and found out, but that's why it's funny. It's so ironic that it's funny. It's so tragic it's funny. And every motherfucking quote they find of this nigga is him saying something that makes it funnier.
It makes it worse. And you're like, oh, I'm going to go back and finish listening to that podcast because this and that. I was like, he said, what? Like as you were talking, I started connecting two together. Oh, adjust the screen, baby. We in third, so I don't know why.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
And I think for me that it's like a lot of these quotes was done a while ago, and like the jokes write themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these quotes are funny. I don't like. You're also not better than me because you didn't laugh. Like that's the other thing. Those people need to be heroes too. There's no heroes here, really. It's all fucking stupid to me. Like it's just this is the randomness of life, I guess. Well, not so random as this nigga was fucking around till he found out. Until a sub is tested, class tested, and proven, it should not be used for commercial deep dive operations. I implore you to take every care in your testing and sea trials and be very, very conservative. As much as I appreciate entrepreneurship and innovation, you are potentially putting the entire industry at risk.
Right. Because there are people who they do this, like their whole industry is we do this. So now basically the industry is going to tank and, for a while. And, there are some scientists that are like, hey, you have people doing this. They're doing it the right way. We've actually found new creatures and all that shit. And now we're not even going to be able to do any of this shit anymore because this nigga went out here and fucked it up for everybody.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to fuck up everybody that bad. It's probably for the best that he was so out there that the rest of the industry can say, see how safe we are?
Yeah.
This is like a person that's like trying to fly like a Wright brothers plane today and then crashed and burned. I wouldn't be like, well, that's it. Shut down the airport. I'm like, that motherfucker was such an outlier. It shows how safe everyone else is. So I don't think it's going to have that effect on the industry.
Okay.
Rush replied, I'm well qualified to understand the risk and issues associated with subsea exploration in a new vehicle. Talking like this shit is a Kia Sorento.
Not a new vehicle. I got the 2023 version.
And looking at the pictures, like it was sparse in there. They couldn't see. He even talked about how you can't see when you're down there. And you gotta look through like a screen through a camera.
Who was saying this?
The Stockton Rush.
Oh, okay.
So like I'm like, so you just basically know you down there. It's not like a actual like I'm down there. And then like they opted not to have a GPS in it.
That's why nobody could find them.
It basically ping. That's not why nobody could find them. It basically pings back to the ship with like a text every hour or something to let the ship know like this is where I'm at. And it stopped doing that. No, the reason they couldn't find them is because it sounds like they imploded literally like a couple hours or so after leaving the ship. And so everybody knew all that calculation of 91 hours of air, whatever, it didn't matter. They were dead. They were dead early.
Oh, so they had been known.
Yeah, there's hundreds of people and all this money and time spent trying to get these faux motherfuckers from the bottom of the, from SpongeBob's house and shit. And they fucking knew they imploded like right away. Even the Navy and stuff was like, yeah, we heard an implosion like days ago and figured out that's what's up. And at the end of the thing, they found pieces of the ship, of the submersible, and basically said it must have just imploded because there's no way they could survive with this piece of the ship missing. And then people start talking about what an implosion looks like and how you'd be dead in seconds and your blood would be boiling and all this shit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so they been dead.
So they did this manhunt for nobody.
Yeah, basically for show. But the good news is Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On" saw a huge jump on streaming. It did. It did.
Wow.
It got played over 520,000 times since Thursday. And
make your money.
And in a couple more days, July 1st, Titanic is coming back to Netflix. So people might watch that.
Did they already have that planned?
Sure, Karen. They already had it planned. They knew he was going to die. This has been a big conspiracy by Netflix to kill this man.
No. I mean, Netflix may have already had it planned.
Yes, of course they already had it planned. Of course. What? There is no other version of this.
Big Netflix.
Open your third eye. Open your third eye. Open your third eye.
Yeah. So sad to see. I guess sad to see anybody just die like that's stupid. Mm-hmm. A foreseeable stupid death is still foreseeable and stupid, and it's kind of
right.
sad.
It don't change it.
You know, but I don't know. Like, stop fucking around with shit. I'm more surprised you got 4 people to go on it with you, and like the 19-year-old who died is conflicting reports, but like one of his aunts or somebody said he didn't even want to be there. He was just doing it for his father. But then his mom, who's alive, said her son actually did want to be there. He took her spot on the trip. She was supposed to be the one to go. I can't imagine what it's like being her right now. You know, but she was like, he was so, now maybe he was just doing that to please his father. I don't know, but we'll never know for sure. But he apparently was scared, but also the mom says he wanted to go. So like, you know, that shit is whack.
Yeah, it's like both of those statements could both be true.
Yeah,
right.
Shit is whack to me. But I think this is what happens. This is what happens when you don't believe in regulations and shit, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and people just assume a mediocre white man must fucking be the guy who knows everything. But at the end of the day, he was out of his league. Just saying, Karen's out of his depth.
He found out what happens when you go too deep.
Some people would think this was unfathomable.
The jaws of the ocean swallowing him up.
All right. I don't think me and you are on the same wavelength with these puns.
It don't matter if we sink or swim.
I guess we don't see eye to eye.
It's okay if we're not on the same current.
We were covering current events. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an ocean of difference between us.
I know you're just trying to streamline the show.
Oh man. At least they didn't take a long time to die. I'm glad they didn't surf her.
I ran out. My bad.
It's okay. It's all right. I know it's hard to see these jokes coming. You know, I don't know. I don't want to torpedo the show. Oh, all right. Let's move on.
This is what y'all want us to come back to.
Mm-hmm.
These terrible ass puns.
Mm-hmm. This is what y'all was.
Which I was waiting.
Nobody else was covering. Nobody else was covering it this way.
Nope.
Okay. Nobody else had these jokes like this. Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. You watch like The Hunt for Red October, then you see what the fuck this man watched The Hunt for Red October. Was like, I could do that shit for like a tenth of the price.
Right.
I can do that shit.
I can save you some labor costs.
Give me some duct tape, a Logitech controller,
some Gorilla Glue.
See, first of all, they got way too many chairs in their submarine. You don't need to be sitting. You can just lay down.
Standing room only.
Yeah, you couldn't even stand in it. This motherfucker Fisher Price, my first submarine ass bullshit.
Yeah, where else y'all gonna get these under the sea jokes?
This shit was a motherfucking. This was essentially suicide by a submarine, dude.
Right?
Why? The most tragic sub since Jared from Subway.
Oh no!
Oh, that wasn't really playing. Anyway, last thing is almost like an epidemic. Have you heard the story about the dude who wanted to be a hot air balloon pilot? So he built his own hot air balloon.
Okay.
Over 15 days using a sewing machine, 4,000 pounds worth of tent fabric, and it went up like tissue paper after catching fire 900 feet in the air. Of
course he made a big ass quilt and put fire up underneath it. Yeah, the bitch gonna burn.
Yeah, he made a TikTok of it.
Did he go up and say poof?
His name's Peter Gregory, 25. He made a TikTok of him making the thing, 15 days. Making the thing in 15 days. He put the video up on TikTok.
Did he not Google in how to properly make a hot air balloon? Like,
Karen, I mean, do you Google how to make a submarine? I don't think people are using Google. Also, I don't even know that Google University is helping. This is do my own research in real life. This is Joe Rogan type behavior. Motherfucker didn't know nothing about no goddamn safety regulations.
Yeah, no safety regulations.
They said the hot air balloon went up like tissue paper after malfunction at 900 feet. The clip, which was posted by him via his TikTok account, Flying Pedro, shows the process the aviation enthusiasts went through to construct the 4,000 euros or pounds balloon.
White.
He was replying to comments posted by unsure users in the clip. God damn it, boy. Y'all be leaving a digital footprint behind. If I ever am doing something stupid, I'm not replying to no naysayers. Because it's definitely going in the motherfucking article. Mr. Maury was sure he could do a podcast. from the middle of Compton wearing a blue all blue uniform. He was in the comments telling people, "Fuck y'all! I don't think the Crips gonna do shit."
Like later died.
Like then they just gonna read the comments. Yeah, this is
it's gonna be like Royal Blue 59 said, "I don't think I would do that, homie."
right. White people need problems. I think that's the conclusion that I'm coming to. When you don't have natural predators and you are the predator, you're always showing up on other people's continents and killing all the people and all the wildlife. You need real problems, or you do shit like invent your own balloon that's gonna kill you.
All right, because I'm pretty sure. Why he look like he got two hot plates? What's happening here? The fuck is this?
You like he in a popcorn maker,
right? The fuck is this?
Yeah, he was proud of this. He was like, "Look at me, I'm making my own balloon, y'all."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that shit.
This works great on the ground at 200 degrees.
Right.
Now, what's gonna happen when
I've started to build a hot air balloon. I get to choose which colors I want to make it. I chose lots of blues and a little orange. Then I cut out all the panels, over 270 in total. Next, I fold them up and begin to sew. This balloon is 16 gauze. I begin by putting each gauze together individually. So far, I have spent 5 days working on it, and I have stitched together 11 gauze. I also made a big bag to keep it in. I still have a lot of work to do on this. Follow for more updates.
Bro, you should have just donated this to the local gym, and then them kids could use that at school during PE. You know, you hide under the balloon and you pull it out.
Ball on top. Yeah, shit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, dog. Like, this don't make no sense. You didn't talk to no hot air balloon expert or shit like that. I'm pretty sure people have made their own hot air balloons before, but they actually know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
So we're down at 9. So you fucking 900 feet in the air, and that shit was like, you know what? Paper, poof.
Right. You shouldn't have got me from the dollar store.
All that saw was for nothing. Poof.
The lower part of the balloon fabric, how do you make sure it doesn't catch fire? One user said. The pilot replies by saying the bottom part of the balloon is made from Nomex, which is fire retardant, before pointing out that it's made of the same material as racing drivers. Another user by the name of EA asked Mr. Gregory how could he trust the design process before he replied saying the design and manufacturing process hasn't changed much in well over 100 years! Exclamation point.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, I've seen how that balloons go. I've never ridden one, but I've seen them go up a lot of times that they don't puff like tissue paper.
Witnesses of the accident said it burst into flames in midair around 6:20 a.m.
He got dropped like a rock.
I told my partner to take a picture because the balloon looked lovely. Seconds later, one of them burst into flames and plummeted to the ground. Once it caught fire, it went up like tissue paper. It was burnt in about 10 seconds. We couldn't believe it. We thought from the height there would definitely be a fatality. It felt like a rocket. It shook us up to watch.
Also, people will own it.
The family of Mr. Gregory, who are all expert balloonists, are said to be in bits over his death, but are finding comfort in the fact he died doing what he loved. I think he was just on it.
Oh, you think him and Mr. Submarine is in the same place looking at each other? Talking about, bro.
Yeah, there's just a light.
Bro, physics fucked you up too, bro.
There's a do-it-yourself heaven. There's just all the people that did ivermectin and shit.
Dude, you too, dude.
They added his heart was set. He said when he set his heart to something, he'd never give up. He was driven and determined, and one could only watch in awe. He will fly together. We will fly together again soon, Pete. We love you.
Not dropping 900 feet.
It is not clear just how the craft burst in the fireball. However, the hot air balloon enthusiast and photographer who watched Peter's first flight on his homemade balloon today said, balloon accidents are often very rare. The last was 12 years ago. In 50 years, there have only been 5 or 6 fatalities. Statistically, it's safer than horse riding. Okay, well, shit.
What did what did all these balloon people have in common? They didn't do something right, probably.
I just feel like you should have a parachute or something. I don't know.
Right.
But then he'll make a parachute himself. He just die again. It's just
Yeah, look like you would have like a parachute.
He's like, I did make a parachute out of plastic bags that I got at Whole Foods. Okay,
I sold them myself.
Yeah, I sold them together. Here's a video. I already sold together 12 paper bags from Whole Foods, and I only have to sell 12 more. Watch this channel for updates.
No, thank you.
His last words were, Hillary, will you marry me?
Oh no! She can't respond.
There are lots of balloons kind of yeah. So they said they called the 999 emergency number, but it was down.
Did he land on the line?
I don't know.
He landed on the power line and just took everything out.
I don't know. Definitely not a good way to die.
Mm-mm.
No way where they can go check the comment section is a good way to die. Okay.
900 feet. Woo!
Yeah. Went down in flames. All right, y'all. That's it, man. We've been 2 hours today. We're back. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. Thanks for listening, everybody. I will leave y'all with some sword ratchetness, of course. Police say WQ, I don't know, Dubuque man was arrested after fighting a teenager while holding a sword cane.
I will always say that every time I hear that.
It was a fight in the alley at 7:20 p.m.
7:20 p.m. You fighting in the alley? What's happening here? What kind of alley brawl is this?
It was this man and a 15-year-old fight. He's 35. Eric M. Hines.
Piece of rage fight. What is happening here? Oh my goodness!
And choked up.
Y'all, the old man got tired of him, or he got tired of the old man. What is happening? I was like,
so yeah, he's 35. The kid's 15. They fought in the back of an alley, and they got called because a verbal disturbance happened. And Hines was yelling a racial slur.
Oh no!
While holding a black cane with a snake on the end of it, concealing a 16-inch knife.
Oh, what?
The 15-year-old threw a brick at him and charged him in the alley while Hines was holding a sword cane. And the teen began to punch him. Now I'm kind of on the teen side because apparently this motherfucker's a racist. He racist and got a sword. So they engaged in a mutual fight.
A mutual fight.
Traffic camera footage shows Hines chasing the teen with the sword cane, shoving the teen in the face. Hines then pointed the sword cane at the teen. Teen then threw a brick at him, who was walking back to his residence when the 15-year-old was charged with disorderly conduct in connection with the incident. There you go. Thanks for listening. We appreciate y'all.
All stopped up and all.
We'll probably be back tomorrow. We'll let you know. If not, we'll definitely be doing our feedback show on Saturday. Until then, we got a hot air balloon to fly, and we'll be back. Yeah, Karen, I've been working on it.
If that's the case, we going under the sea. We're going up. We're going down too.
Shout out to David.